Hey Geminis, and welcome to your July 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And this is a pretty heavy month for you, Gemini. I feel that you are changing quite drastically here and now. The last few months for you has been a pretty defining ride for you. I think that you are very different now that you're listening. Like right here where you're in July, I feel what your energy is, and as I sense it to be very different than what it's been in the past. And I think that that is really wonderful for you, and I also think that it takes a period of adjustment as well. July basically brings to you new types of spiritual fulfillment, new paths, new options, new opportunities, and new reactions to these things as well. I feel like for the Geminis who have been disappointed in themselves or disappointed with people around them, that things can start to raise, and things and like new ideas can start to come in to where you can face these things in a new way. So first off, Geminis, you have three major arcana in your reading: the High Priestess, Judgment, and the Chariot reversed. And I'm really happy to see those energies coming in for you, because there's been more of a disconnection. There's been in Gemini this sort of like fear of not being guided by the universe or not being led in a certain way throughout the entire time of Saturn and Sag in like 2016 and 17. Like the universe was there, and I feel like Gemini was really like staring straight into the universe, even if life felt difficult at that period of time. For some of you it was nice, for some of you it was very difficult. Of course it's going to be different for everybody, but one way or another I feel that Gemini was like approached by very spiritual universal source energy, and I feel that moving here into July that reemerges, because maybe the last few months have been difficult for Gemini because you felt more disconnected from source, you felt more disconnected from spirit, and life has become more day by day more lackluster feeling. So I do sense like some depressive tendencies that have come up, which are resolving this month, so don't be too worried about that. June for everybody was a bit of a mismatch. It was kind of like just really hard to comprehend, really hard to work with, and demanded a lot from many. So what was demanded from you in June, Gemini, during your birth time and your birth date? What was needed from you? Who needed what? I feel that determining that now and reacting to it differently now is part of the Ascension process for you. So what types of relationships are really clinging onto you? What people are really wanting to be around you? What's kind of being thrown in your face? And also, what are you striving for? What do you want? And do those things line up? I do feel that July brings you a type of energy where you can make those things line up to where what you want is kind of like reaching back to you, reaching halfway, and you kind of just have to reach out versus feeling so scattered in regards to what's here and when it's here. Another thing that I see in just the general culmination of energies that I feel for Gemini is new new resistances, and it's not bad. It's not like it's not really Saturnian, because Saturn isn't hitting you. There is a Saturn retrograde right now, so everybody's gonna feel maybe a bit more trepidation in goals and aspirations and prestige related things. But I feel for Gemini there's a resistance, like something involving reputations and something involving how the world views you that is shifting quite powerfully right now, and could make a really strong 180 to what it's been before. This is really good for Geminis who have struggled to connect with people or struggled to project who you wanted to be, because that can really heal itself up. But it goes both ways. I feel that certain Geminis who have been very reliant on always being this person and seen in this way, it can really shift up, and your actions become very clear and very prominent. So basically it's just very karmic, relating to your projection and matters of reputation. Yeah, just reputation is like really at the forefront. And I feel that the world will see you with truth during this month, and that will be an incredible blessing for many of the Geminis watching this video, because you've been trying really hard. You've been like really putting in a lot of effort to be that person. Like I sense a lot of charity. I sense a lot of, you know, trying to help others, trying to make yourself stronger. And I feel that July puts that front and center, which is so beautiful. And then there are some people who have been more focused on power or desiring to be the royal person or the leader or the sovereign despite actions. And I feel that that can really become prevalent for Gemini, where people see you as like above them, but kind of like get pitchforks out in a way. It's like some Geminis, it's like you're really getting high in the hierarchy, and some people might like bow and to worship you as if you were like a saint, while others might sort of be lifting pitchforks. And there's a strong energy of extremes relating to this. So I feel like how you react to this, how you react to people being more sensitive to your projection, to your image, to your attempts. I do feel that work is the answer. I feel that output of energy, as you do have quite a lot right now, like much more than you might imagine, and like proving that you can do more than the other people can who are against you, or proving that through charitable actions or through forging a version of yourself that is so helpful to maybe perhaps even just yourself, shows you in the light that sort of dissipates the problems, if that makes sense. I don't feel that the answer is sitting. I don't feel that the answer is sitting and making claims about progress that like really make clear how much more superior you are or inferior you are to other people. I don't feel that emphasizing these types of things looks very good on Gemini right now, and I think that it makes Gemini almost statistical, or like that type of example of when this becomes a problem. So I would like really distance yourself from ideas of hierarchy or ideas of like deference, ideas of what you are owed based on what you've acquired. It's interesting that Saturn was opposite you in 2017, and it kind of forged this like this force to be reckoned with, if I'm completely honest, is what really comes forward, and how that shifts and almost becomes disliked by other people because of how strong you've become. So really dissipating those differences in status, those differences in prestige to people that you care about or people that are flocking towards you, I think will help during this time. And I think that the biggest problem would just be making it clear how much above you are other people. So in retrospect to all of this, Gemini, before I get into the week to week, it's kind of a long reading. I feel like 90, yeah, that's a big number, 85, 90% of you have like done it and have become really admired, or have like either worked with yourself. Maybe some of you have been more like solitary in this, and you're starting to admire yourself, and then some of you are being admired by other people. And it's like, this is a time of applause and a time of congratulations and celebrations. But for some of you, it's been like really anticipated for it to be that. And this is like that other 10%, 15%. And it's not going to quite have the effect that it needs to have. And that only happens if you're relying more on your position than your output. So anyway, to get into the week to week Geminis, week number 1, 9 of Wands, rooted down by King of Cups reversed. So I think this is like emotional lack of energy. You're tired of giving somebody a certain emotional reaction. To get more specific with things, there's like somebody in your life that's like really draining the emotional storage. And I feel that this is also a time of letting go of grudges too in the first week. So what are there any grudges present? Are there people in your life that you're still like very angry towards, or reliving and rehashing experiences of the past? This is a really like powerful time to be able to just walk away from that, and to be able to maybe have it for a bit longer. Like first week of July, I feel like it's fine to be thinking like how that person did you wrong, or how that person left you in such a difficult situation. By the time we move into the second week, though, with that Queen of Wands reversed down by King of Wands, I think that it's good to have been able to leave that behind and to have embraced acceptance. There is something very accepting that I see moving into that time, especially with like the High Priestess as your central theme. I really enjoy the sort of expression of acceptance that the High Priestess has. It's like there's a sense of power there. There's a sense of emotional and psychic maturation, but also not so much a sense of I'm going to use my power to change things that aren't like my territory. There's a sense of acceptance with that power, and I feel that the second week of July builds that acceptance and ignites this sort of acceptance in an attempt for Gemini to gain the type of creative power, like solar plexus chakra power, to take that power that they might use to change something that's not really their territory and manifest that into something that is solely their own. So I see how things become more solitary even with that type of energy as well. So you might also be surrounded by fire sign energy, lots of fire energy around you. You might be feeling a bit burned out as well. Lots of Wands cards in this reading, and 4 of Wands reversed and 9 of Wands upright. There's like a sense of burnout there. I can't deny that. But by reacting coolly, like by being cool-headed, even-tempered, it feels that you extinguish this burnout, undoubtedly. Third week Gemini's Ace of Swords reversed, rooted down by 4 of Wands reversed. So you've had like this big idea going, this new business idea, this new template that has been really good. So again, I'm thinking back to like Saturn and Sag period of time. It's like you structured a type of work outflow for yourself. Like, this is my schedule, this is what I do, this is how I do it, this is how quick I do it. And it's like, that's not really working anymore. It's time to find a new formula. For a lot of Geminis, there's a new medium, a new source, a new funding, or a new person connection that needs to be embraced, like at the latest in the 3rd week of July. So that's like going straight into Leo time, which makes sense for you guys. That should sort of ignite you with like the fiery energy to like maybe burn everything that's been here already and create new from the ashes that emerge. It's time in the 3rd week of July to enjoy something new and to not be obsessed with what things could have been, what things once were. And even deeper than that, it's not always so much a time thing for Gemini. It's not so much like a this happened in the past, this will happen in the future. It's more of a, how did this make me received by myself and others? So that's really the only connection that Gemini has to the past, is how it's affecting what I'm doing now. It's like a present thing. Like Gemini in the astrological, chronological order and story has not yet gotten to the part of the zodiac wheel which laments or makes nostalgic the past. I mean, and if you have like a lot of Cancer or Pisces in your chart, or like strong aspects to like the moon and Neptune, this can be different. But Gemini energy in and of itself does not really lament for the past or want to have things which are no longer there, but they do when it's affecting what they are at like a core level. And so if you can start to rethink what that is and make a new formula, those disastrous types of connections to the past that are emerging in weird ego types of battles right now will disappear. And the 3rd week feels like a good time to ritual that in or bring that in. 4th week, Judgment reversed, rooted down by the Chariot reversed. Definitely the most powerful week of your month. The 2 major arcana cards together, that's progress. Judgment and the Chariot together, I don't even care that they're reversed. That's progress. And that's quick progress. Perhaps not even as quick as you would want it to be, though. Maybe like moving into July, you're wanting to be in that type of energy. It will feel like a long time coming, I feel. And you may also see that the way that you've changed, or the way that you're going to change with Judgment reversed, is not what you planned for, which is beautiful, because embracing the universe and acceptance oftentimes deals with not necessarily knowing where that takes you. And Gemini, again, is a very formulaic, mercurial energy, which likes to be able to predict things and likes to be able to not be surprised, especially by like very serious matters of life. Most people don't want to be surprised by those types of things, Gemini, but it feels that by trusting the universe, by accepting where you've been, what's been done to you, and by embracing the vehicle that is taking you away from that in and around the 4th week, you are all of a sudden just above it. All of a sudden things change, things shift. You might not even move, you might not even change that much, but I sense you existing in an environment in a way that you've never been able to before. And for some of you, it may involve moving or even delaying those types of plans a little bit, but still having them. Again, the High Priestess is your central theme. Congratulations. I think that peace and calmness is very needed right now by Gemini and will aid in any type of burnout or disconnection from the past that you are experiencing. It's a beautiful month to see you, Gemini, and a beautiful month to see options, possibilities, but to not make them such a big deal that you're not able to function in your present. Anyway, Gemini, I hope this resonated. Check your sun, moon, rising sign. I feel that the Gemini energy is kind of squared up in weird ways as it does sometimes, and can be a bit difficult to articulate because it moves so fast and it like buzzes really quickly. So a lot of kind of erratic things can just like go here and there. But if you haven't had the opportunity yet to subscribe to my channel, I would so appreciate that. It really helps me out a lot, and your likes and comments do as well. How's this energy treating you? I would love to know. Check it out in the comments below. And also, you can click the center of your screen now to check out my Patreon page. You can get these readings early and ad-free, and as well as some other things there as well. Check the description box. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, and there are some other useful links there. Much love. We'll be talking soon. Bye.